Hello, sexy souls. Good and early on a Monday morning. How's everybody doing? Alrighty, so it's intense energy. I feel very much so like this is spreading, like the heart center is just opening up. So what I was getting before I came on, first off, is anybody else getting up super fucking early? Like my body, it's summer. I don't have to take my kids to school and all that kind of stuff. Hey Terry. Good morning. Hey LP. Hey Catherine. So why does my body decide it's 5 o'clock in the morning? Like the other day I woke up at 4:40. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna be real nice and tired tonight. I'll go to bed. No. I don't know what my body's doing. I don't care what time I go to bed. I'm up early. And I'm like, I do love the morning hours. Okay. But good God. Secondly, it kept feeling like before I did anything, when I was hearing it was like at first it was today is the day. And then it kind of felt like today's the day you get an answer. But it felt like not so much that spirit was telling you. I felt like I was you either telling somebody else or telling yourself or telling spirit, like, today's the day. Today is the day I find out the answer. Today is the day it gets revealed. Today is the day. Because if it ain't today, shit's changing. It's almost as if, yesterday was like TikTok. Like the time is, time is of the essence kind of thing. And it felt a little more like from the universe's side, right? And it's like I don't know, when like someone says they're gonna do something and you're like, all right then, and like you give yourself this own, like, if it's not done by this, then I'm not gonna fucking know. Then I'll know for sure. Like I'll have my answer. Like it's either now or never type of situation. But it's not quite an ultimatum because I don't know if you gave somebody an ultimatum or not, but you were just kind of like, but you have made the decision that something about today is going to give you whatever answer on something. Like, it's just like, you're just like, now or never. It happens. If it doesn't, like, I don't know. It's like, you could even tell in spirit, like, if you don't show me now, then like, it's your finality type of thing. So it just kind of felt that way. And when I started to get on, I started to press the, it's like, I forgot. July 3rd. Oh, not even fucking registered, y'all. Today is the full moon. Okie dokie. I don't know what that's got to do with shit, but apparently, maybe, I don't know. But I feel like, normally, sometimes it's like the message is coming from spirit, but I feel like I'm the person saying this. I'm like, it's almost like if something were to be proven or if something were to happen, it'd be today. And you're going to write it. I just feel it in my bones, like you're going to write it off if it doesn't. You're done. You're going to wash your hands of some shit or something. Like, it's like you'll know the truth. I don't know. It just feels that way. So it feels like it's coming from you. And then, like, when I say that, like, this feels heavy, but also like open, like raw. It's just like, it's in my chest. You know how, like, okay, so TMI, when women have their periods and stuff like that, it can feel like we have a ball and chain on our uterus pulling through to the ground, right? It's like, it feels like something's here. Like, it's just like an elephant sitting on your chest. Not hard to breathe, but like the pressure, you can feel the pressure right here. So this has got to have some type of gravity in your life, some type of, is my hair coming out of my brain? I don't know. Importance. This is just like, I don't know if it's a turning point or what for you. So that's the energy I come into this with. I don't know. And it's like, I feel like, when you're about to go in and quit, or when you're about to walk into court because of a divorce hearing, or when you're about to, like, that feeling where you're like, it's that kind of heavy because of that type of gravity, whatever it is, has that type of gravity. So, all right, that's what I'm feeling. All right, here we go. Love my peeps who come on nice and early, who are like, I'm getting ready for work. I'm about to head to work. I've got my coffee in hand. See, like, you don't always got to come on like in the evenings and stuff like that. These is my peeps. All right, where are we starting? This feels pretty much. I'm feeling this one also. Sun Night Tarot has been coming out lately, or Night Sun Tarot, whatever. I can't remember. I always mix it up. Let's see where this goes. Oh gosh, that's me right there, dropping my coffee and shit. Oh, gravity. Right? That is a typical full moon. That is a typical full moon. It is a lot. It is heavy. Oh, really? Just gonna lay these up here the way that they were, the way they ended up landing. I'm gonna have to start somewhere I don't normally start. I feel like this over here is kind of like you. There's something of you today where you have to kind of like have courage, have strength, be. They heard the word resolve today because we do have the strength card, but it feels very separate. It was left like this, right? So it feels very separate to me from the other cards. And then these are 3 cards. I know you probably can't see it. These are 3 cards. And usually when I have a center card, it's the overall energy. But the funny thing is, this is the way that it had landed, but this is feeling a little bit like they're giving me a saying with this one. And I'm like, this is so fucking curious. It is the 3 of Swords, okay? But look at the way that it's depicted. Usually in Rider-Waite, all 3 swords are piercing the heart, right? Which is where your attachments are either in direct conflict with where your heart is, or your attachments, which are always intellectual, are always mental, right? Are causing a lot of pain, your attachment to something, right? And it's having to create like a level of separation and grief. In this one, take a look. There's only 1 sword. And generally speaking, a lot of times there can be an indication, the way, direction, or how the swords are held kind of tell me a little bit of something about it. And when there's 2 swords upright, that's integral. That's truth, right? That's something that's authentic, that's transparent, that's being seen, a truth that is being expressed. And then if it's pointing down, it's almost as if it's something that is either a lie, or is not being expressed, something to that effect, right? And so they literally said two truths and a lie. Two truths and a lie. Which gives me the essence of, like, maybe if there's something you're trying to figure out today, or if there's something that you are are saying, this is the day that a decision is made. It's now or never. It's this or that. Some type of ultimatum, even if it's just to yourself, with the universe, that kind of thing, right? You haven't necessarily spoken and given it to somebody, but it is almost like a resolve within you, and in it, it almost is like whatever evolves or happens today gives you an understanding where there's truth and dishonesty within it. And if this is all about you, you may discover something where it could be like, because we do have two people. Take a look at this, two people. And it's almost like each have their own truths, but this down the middle is the lie, which is piercing the heart. Like the idea of each person has their own truth, neither of which, if this is in regards to love, neither of which is real love, is like what I would want to say. Like it is, or it's not in alignment with true love. Does that make sense? Everybody's got their own lens, their own perspective, their own truth, right? And they'll buy into that. And they may be expressing that. But the one thing that is not being expressed is the thing that's causing a lot of pain. Okay. But on the flip side, I also feel like it, because this is very internal, and like there's this thing between you and spirit, or you, like you have made this, like, today means something, right? And so it's like in this, you realize or recognize maybe like how you've perceived a situation or what you've been thinking or believing to be true is maybe mostly true, but not all the way. Like it's not 100%. And it's kind of like, how like you see a situation in a certain way, and you can sit down with a therapist and they go, well, these things are true, but what about this? Like it's like maybe there is a fallacy in some of what you're seeing, okay? So it's like you have an awareness of something. uh you are seeing some things clear, and maybe this could be just like self-deception, right? Because that's the thing that hurts the most, right? It's one thing when somebody else does it to me, but when I let it happen to myself, because I fall for some shit that I know better, because I hold out and pretend and I ignore the truth. It's like, it's kind of that energy. Like, am I doing, like, is this something where it's like, this is painful because I allowed myself to believe something that was not true? So, but it's funny because on each side of this is something exceptionally beautiful and positive. Almost like there's one aspect of this situation that that you may have to let go of or be separate from, or that hurts. But these two things, the two truths, are beautiful because we have the Page of Cups and the Ten of fucking Pentacles. And so I'm kind of like, sometimes you would think, if this is the overall energy, like this is the feeling that this would almost make these two things not good, but you can't make either one of these things not good. I mean, I guess Page of Cups a little bit, because like, oh, it's something immature, like immature love. That I don't see it as that, because they're giving me this as it's like somehow maybe in acknowledging these two truths, you also inevitably, like whatever truth is revealed to you today will also reveal some kind of illusion or disillusionment that you've had, or some type of non-truth, we'll just say. Okay. So that's basically it. And it's like, if you're setting the precedent that things are gonna be figured out today, you have to have the strength and wherewithal and the courage to accept whatever comes with that truth. Does that make sense? Okay. Page of Cups would be something on offer, something that has more to it than you realize, something very beneficial, like something that would bring joy. But usually with the Page of Cups, there's also like a fish that pops out. Like there's more in it than you realize. This could look like something that would just be replenishing to you, but it has more to offer that you might not see right away, right? Because usually in the Page of Cups, the fish pops out and it's like a surprise. It's like, and fish always represents abundance and prosperity and growth, right? And so it's one of those things where it's like, it's sustenance. It'll keep you going. But beyond that, it has more. It bring me back to the whole, like, you can give a man a fish, but if you teach him to fish, that type of analogy. It's like there's something where it's like it has a level of, like, this may just be the beginning, but it has way more to it than you realize. And then over here is the level at which something can get. Because I look at the Ten of Pentacles as the Pentacles being something within your world, right? Something in your 3D. This isn't just emotional. It's not just mental. It's just not about your self-confidence or self-worth. It's not about the self. It is about the things, your life that is exemplified in your environment, external to you, right? More than just the self. This is where we begin to try and as within, so without, right? So Ten of Pentacles also talks about the level of longevity, prosperity, having so much so that it impacts others, the way that this will uplift, benefit, and go beyond just the self, but then have there's this legacy to it where it goes and I can't get away from the feeling of family. So we're going to get into this because I'm like, where is this going? Like, I'm very curious about the two truths and a lie and what it means for these things. But just remember that when you set this, today's the day I find out. Today is the day where I figure out the truth. Today is the day where I make my decision based upon, blah, 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 blah. That you have to, got my neck, be willing. I think that sometimes the only reason that this middle one has ever existed is because you would intentionally, purposefully turn a blind eye to it, right? I always look at the lion as if it's sometimes the ego, the thing that kind of rears its ugly head or roar the loudest or will rear up in us that allows us to be distracted, right? That either is the fear that comes up within us or something, and it allows us to turn from something because we just don't have the strength to face it. And when we tame that and we acknowledge it and we harness it, which is probably why I feel this way internally, it's like that is what allows us to continue to move forward. So it requires more bravery to acknowledge and accept any sense of defeat, dishonesty, disillusionment that we've held within than it is from anybody else. I always tell everybody, it's one of those things where it's like, it's amazing. You can be so angry and upset at other people in your life that have created grief and strife and trauma for you. And so the fact that as hard as it can be sometimes to forgive them or to forgive the situation, right? Or to move beyond it or to heal it, is when you begin to then, because once you start doing that, you start to recognize the role you played in anything. And I'm always the type of person where I believe that people can be a victim of something, but I don't necessarily believe in victimhood. And victimhood is something completely different. It is the length, the depth, the breadth, the extent at which something then we allow to continue to influence, oppress, or anything else like that with us, right? And so it's like, how long do we hand our power over to it? How long do we carry that with us? And so there's this sense of, once you have, like, it's one thing to deal with things external. I always find that it's so much harder for a lot of us to forgive ourselves when we finally recognize and realize the power we had all along. And that's not to say that you had total and complete power over situations. But when you feel like you have nothing and you recognize at some point you had something and you never exercised it and you just handed it over, that gets really, really, really difficult. And so that to me is also the strength card. It's like, it takes bravery and strength to not get upset, to not lash out, to not whatever, like whatever comes along with these truths. Whatever acknowledgement, because this may even be you just have to acknowledge something. Maybe there is just something that comes to that, and it is that thing that really pierces your heart, right? So it's getting to that place and being willing and allowing. That's the strength that's required with this, okay? So I think that this is where we go to the new era elements. And so we're looking at two truths and a lie. Three of Swords, please. Talk to us about that. I shit you fucking not, guys. I hope you heard me. I was like, two truths and a lie. Three of Swords, please. They give me the Three of Swords. So there may be something that is at a heartache today, and you're willing to find the truth about it. There's something that you grieve with this, I want to say, this line drawn in the sand. That's what it is. Like, ultimatum doesn't quite feel right. It is the line has been drawn, right? And so there's a level of grief with this, and a desire to maybe in the past numb out this pain so you wouldn't acknowledge certain truths. And it just boils down to this. You'll get the truth that you want, but with it, you will also have to recognize the role that you played in this. The truth that you've been not wanting to hear. The lie you may have been telling yourself that up to this point you're like, has been the thing that has actually been hurting. Had you allowed yourself to see the situation for what it really truly was, or had you allowed yourself to see things fully, maybe it wouldn't, but you held on to something else and you're like, today I know the full and utter truth of something. Today is either something happens, someone shows up, or something, you know what I mean? But there's just this, admittance. That's the hard part, because you're going to get the truth, and it's so funny because it is dressed in something so beautiful. There's some really good shit with what evolves today, but it's almost like you get to a point where you have to admit something to yourself. That's what I want to say. The thing that you are not being honest with yourself about is probably the lie that has been hurting you. And it probably has something to do with you had more power in this situation than you ever gave yourself credit for. You may have allowed yourself previously to believe that you were not nearly as powerful, that you were more at the mercy of whatever this is than you ever really were. It's almost like Spirit is saying, I'll tell you the truth. You'll find the truth out. This will happen, but you will also simultaneously recognize this as well. And this can be around love and emotions. This can be around your life, your family. This can be around money. It can be any one of those things. But I feel like something is going to show up and show out for you. And in that, it's like, oh. You know, like sometimes when the light is shown on something, you see everything then. Like when things are in the dark and it's only the moonlight, you don't see everything. And in that, you can create all kinds of fears of what you don't see. But sometimes what you don't, like those fears are not as scary as the truth that's going to be revealed. Like you was sitting with a tarantula right next to you. And a snake in that corner. And a this and that. You know what I mean? It's like the level of, oh shit. Like your brain may have went a million different places, but you didn't let it go here. So it's what I keep getting. But there's something so... I don't get the energy of I'm going to like roll over crying and screaming to the universe. I don't get that. It's like a self-actualization with this. There's an acknowledgement with this. There is an acceptance of responsibility. There is a stepping into a power from this. And you are not going to believe what they just told me. This disillusionment that you've allowed yourself to believe, this powerlessness that you've allowed yourself to believe has kept you from the joy and prosperity in your life. This buy-in to I am a victim to this circumstances. And again, I believe in oppressive situations, circumstances, and things like that. I know, like people, I know that life can do this. But how many times when we feel like we are on the hamster wheel, we just check out, give up? Because it's easier to... the level of strength that it takes to truth. I'm sorry, I'm knocking things. To keep fighting, to keep going. Sometimes it's easier to believe that there's just nothing we can do, because it saves us from the fear of failure, the fear of heartache. Like, you know what I mean? And there's just this idea with whatever this situation is, when this good shit happens, because something good's going to happen from this, you're going to realize you held yourself in this place for far too fucking long. You're just going to be like, it's just the strength to see it, to accept it, to realize it, to integrate it, that you just didn't have to be in this place for as long as you were. That's what this is saying. So it's not like this horrific event, I feel like saying, like somebody's gonna be touche, spirit, touche. Because then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Things are about to fucking change. A complete 180. It's almost as if how you experience life and the way it makes you feel and things external to you, both are changing. That's the 180. Again, when you realize you had the power all along to get what you wanted. Talk about the Page of Cups for me. Because whatever this is, whatever has been causing grief for you, whatever you've not been wanting to see, it changes everything. It changes everything when you acknowledge it, when you do see the truth of a situation, when it is revealed to you. What is the Page of Cups, please? Is that the... Somebody feels like they've been held in place. I need to clarify one little thing. Why do I feel like you're gonna one of the things you're gonna realize is getting to this emotional state and to this existence in your life is not nearly as difficult as you made it out to be. When you fucking realize just how easy it was, like whatever transpires is going to be so much easier for you. It was the buildup, the fear, and the desire to run away from doing something or seeing something that was way more fucking difficult than the actual thing. Right here we have the Five of Pentacles, the lack, the without, being kind of cast aside, like you've kept yourself in this place. You felt like you were in this isolation, this, everybody else gets to have the joy, everybody else gets to have the money, everybody else gets to have the, whatever. I'm looking for help. I want help, but I am just trapped. Look at this monkey and how he has this chain around him, right? This like noose, like he can't go anywhere, right? And then he has the electrical hat, like he's got this much room. He can sit on this teeny little platform. He can't go nowhere. You have been held in place. And I'm clarifying the Page of Cups. And then finally, I don't know why they're saying it like this, but it's the Two of Wands, which to me is always about making a move. It's a choice, a decision. But with the Wand suit, it's about actions, right? Because if you're in the Two of Swords, you have discernment. You see things correctly. You make a choice based upon that, right? It's a decision. This is action. This is on the heels of the Ace of Wands, something I want and desire that brings me to life, something I have passion for, and I go for it. I go for it. You felt immobile, and now you make a move. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. I always look at the threes as if it is the building on of the twos, right? The continuation, which I guess every card technically builds on the, but it's like, Two of Cups, it's the reciprocal exchange, the alignment with another, the experience of pouring into a cup and having it pour back into you. And then Three of Cups is expanding on that. It is all the connections. It is not just having your cup filled up, but having it overflow, because now you have two cups pouring into your cup. It is the support system. It is there's just so much to celebrate, right? So with the Three of Pentacles, it is. Did I say Three of Pentacles? Yeah. It is the choosing the path. You take action towards the path. You take action towards the thing that you desire. And it begins to grow. It builds. There's discernible evidence of your effort external to you, right? Because with the Three of Pentacles, they're building, they're collaborating. It's something that they create for the world to see, right? Like if you think of traditional Rider-Waite, and others are envisioning it, others are wanting that. It is the inclusion of other energies. It always is. The Three of Pentacles, the threes, is the inclusion of others, right? Of something more than one. Even with the Three of Swords, right? Two truths and a lie. It's not generally, take a look at it. It's not generally just one thing that has you upset, right? But funny thing is, it is in this one. It is in this one. You fear something about this. You've feared drawing this line in the sand for what it would mean. And more good will come out of it than bad. Like what you feared isn't really going to transpire. I'm really curious about this, but I've got to touch on this a little bit. The reason I said I feel like there's not a lot of effort for this because we have the Four of Swords, which is usually like the clearing the mind. Like whatever this does, it clears your mind of these things, and it clears your mind of the one illusion or untruth that you keep holding on to, right? That one thing that actually very much so is painful. It's a reprieve. It's a clearing of the mind. It's a pause. It's a recalibration, right? Not a lot of doing in this moment. But with it, we have the Nine of Pentacles. There's a level of freedom that is attained by very little effort, by clearing this thing out, by being brave enough to see it, to acknowledge it, to recognize it, to release it. Like it's just, and it's curious that they're saying, because usually the page is something that is ushered into you. It is on offer. It is either a message, an invitation, or, like just something that comes to you, a messenger that comes to you, brings something to you. I think it's all in how you use this though, because it is a page, right? It has the potentiality. It has the fish in it. It has the potential to become this. And so you're like, it's all what you fucking do with it, right? Hence why it's like, do we stay in this stuck energy? You're brave enough to see what this is? Are you brave enough to then, when you realize, once you've drawn that line in the sand, to actually take action on it? Because here's the thing, you probably fucking did this a million times before. And what'd you do? What did you do when you drew that? Oh, I'll just move the line. Oh, I didn't really mean it. Or maybe that's not really true. Maybe I should have given it more time. Or maybe I should have, you know what I mean? Because the truth of it, you just wasn't ready yet for. So if something is brought in, if you draw this line in the sand, if you say, it's fucking today, and then whatever happens, the events that occur today show you things, it's almost like, if this doesn't happen, then I've got my answer. What you gonna fucking do with the answer? I feel like a part of that is something being presented, something coming to you in this, and you're kind of like, do I take the opportunity? Do I take it? Or do I continue? Like, it requires you to see that you are only a victim so long as you allow yourself to be. In this particular situation, you've got more power than you allowed yourself to believe. You're only as stuck as you so choose to be. It will require you to make a move. It will require a little bit of work on your part. It may require collaboration, connection, you know what I'm saying, like with other people. It may require a bit of vulnerability, because with the 3 Pentacles, people are going to be seeing what you're fucking doing. It's visible. But it's not nearly, it brings you so much peace of mind to attain this level of independence and freedom from whatever this was. Financial freedom, emotional freedom. Like, there's just something where it's like it brings so much peace of mind. So if you're doing an ultimatum, if you're saying, if this doesn't happen, then this, if you're putting a line in the sand, something will transpire today. You will have an unpleasant truth. It's not going to crumble your world. You will be surprised, in fact. It will show up in a manner where you will, because of this, have to take an action. You will need to have the strength to do such. But the level of mental freedom and independence and stability that you will gain from it is going to be so worth it. So if you've challenged the universe, if you said, if this, then this, then it's like, you need to put your whatever where your mouth is, like your actions where your mouth is. What is that fucking saying? Like, you're going to have to show up. I just feel like someone's pushing the line with somebody else. And it's like, okay, you really want to know? Now, today's the day? Okay. So what you going to do with the information? What you going to do with what you're shown? If you are given an opportunity, if you're like, Spirit, if it doesn't show up today, then I'm not doing, like, I'm done with this, and it shows the fuck up, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because old you would have been like, okay, well then, I feel like you would have like tried to buy more time, and you would try to do this, and it's like, oh, well, this came up, and oh, well, I can't just yet because of, oh, blah, 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 whatever bullshit, right? What are you gonna do with it? Are you going to follow through? Give me the 10 of Pentacles, please. you will have to take action on this. It's like, I just feel like you're like, and like, okay, do what you said you was going to do. It does require to see something, the truth about yourself. This 10 of Pentacles is strictly you having victory over this bullshit pattern you perpetuated yourself. Maybe something didn't show up or truth wasn't revealed before because you wasn't fucking ready for it. Because you would have been like, oh, maybe, you know. We have the Devil and victory. You will overcome this shit like it's not even funny. I think it's going to piss you off just a little bit when you realize just how fucking easy it is. Like literally no effort. It didn't take that much. You made it seem like it was more work and more difficult and more impossible than it was. And you get so much out of this. You had built up the what ifs or the potentialities or the, I don't know what it was. But you allowed it. And the thing that was hurting you the entire time was just that one thing that one lie you told yourself. Somehow it was easier to pretend like it wasn't true and go numb. Because when I see this one specifically, take a look at this. He's shooting up. That's I'm checked out. I'm checked out. I'm numbing out. I can't deal with this anymore. It's too much for me. That's changing. It's almost like somebody who deals with something in their life so much that they become apathetic towards it just to survive. They disassociate with it. This is going to be so much simpler than you realize. You will break those chains. That illusion will no longer bind you or hold you. You will no longer have the excuse when you reach this 9 of Pentacles that I can't do it. I don't have the capacity to do it. It's too hard. That's not true. That was the lie the entire time. That was the lie the entire time. I can't handle it. It's more than I can do. It's too much. I can't handle bullshit. Because it's not going to be what you think it is. It will no longer have control over you or any power over you. Because as always with the Devil card, you gave it that power. You will have victory over this. That's what the 10 of Pentacles is saying. The fear you had, it's funny this is coming out under the 10 of Pentacles. And I think it's because this is what has stopped you from getting it. But literally they're telling me it was the fear of making something a reality. You have the Moon card, which is your subconscious. The things that govern how you maneuver and make choices and decisions, the way in which you view something, generally speaking, some form of fear that was doing that, to making something a reality. We got the Hierophant. The Hierophant is all about as within, so without, making that which we hold true to within ourselves, our truths, whatever they may be, our beliefs, morals, understandings, viewpoints, like creating the world external to us that reflects that. Because the Hierophant is the masculine energy. He makes it real in his external in his external realm, right? His environment. That's why the Hierophant is usually depicted by some religious figure, right? And I like this one way much more because it's for Buddhism and stuff, which is a belief, not a religion. But most religions, their attempt is to create a structure external to them in their life that reflects what they truly believe internally. so that I begin to, I have my life externally reflects what I truly believe. That's what their attempt is. That's not what they achieve necessarily. So it's about the fear of bringing something to a reality and making it so. And the process to do that, you feared the process, how the level of difficulty, because the Six of Swords is all about going from the rocky waters to the calm waters, right? And what it takes to go across that with a boat that has 6 swords in it. Will I make it? Will I be able to do it? Is it safe? Having to have faith in the person that is taking you across, spirit. That transition, because the Six of Swords is all about that transition. The fear of what it would take to make something a reality. And I'm sure the Ten of Pentacles seems like some kind of fucking lofty goal. Like, I don't want to move on from this person. I really, really want this. The life partner, where we create a world external to us that, and we have children, or we create a nonprofit that benefits others. Like, we do something greater than ourselves and leave an imprint. And it's like this exchange, this legacy, this longevity. It's like, that's really what I want. But if I have to leave a person to find somebody else, like the whole fucking process to do that, you built it up to be more difficult than what it really is. It was the fear of the transition. This seems like it's too lofty of a goal. And that is what really hurts you. Because you have stayed stuck in a place you didn't have to fucking stay stuck. And it was better to numb out, disassociate, and just deal with things as they were than to potentially feel any of the sadness of whatever, right? And it's like what's about to happen because of what you're doing today and what's going to arrive in your life. It is a show up or show out. Or show up or get out. What does that fucking say? Man, I can't when I start channeling. I don't know words. That's why I make them up all the time when I'm doing this shit. You were afraid the entire time. You were part of the problem. And that's what you get to realize today. Fuck. Yay. Because for once, when this opportunity arises, you act on it and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? It was that easy. Oh my God. Like, it was that fucking easy. And all this grief or this pain was because you were experiencing from staying stuck and stagnant. And the Five of Pentacles. Out in the cold, left out. You kept yourself left out longer than you ever needed to be. And you're like, oh, so because you were feeling it then, you thought, you were projecting that into the future. It could only get worse. No, it'll get better. You were feeling the situation and circumstance as it was, not how it could be. Okay, let's see here. So, for some, I definitely get this is going to be money related, work, money related. Because we have between the Three of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and 10 of Pentacles here. So whatever is coming in, or the opportunity presented in front of you is work, and it's like, it's not as hard as you thought. It's like the work you do with what happens today, with what arrives, with the answer, with the truth, with the whatever. It is all about what you do with it. So if this is love, it's like you had this massive fear of leaving a situation or moving beyond something. And it was really the pain you were feeling, the fear you were feeling was, I don't want to have more of what I already have right now. Because you were already experiencing it. Five of Pentacles. Already. And so you were imagining it worse. The process of finding this. You thought it would be so much more difficult. But I'm telling you, in taking action on the answer you get today, this gets to come into you. Because where you're at right now in the Five of Pentacles, ain't shit coming to you. It's not fucking happening. Especially when you've created a reality where it can't, where you are the eternal victim of circumstance. It can't. Because you won't fucking let it. And yes, if a new love comes in, like the Page of Cups could initiate, it might take some work, but that's going to be a hell of a lot fucking easier. A hell of a lot easier and a lot better on your mental health than whatever shit show you're in right now. It gives you the freedom to find the Ten of Pentacles. You're going to be like, why didn't I do this sooner? I'll pull a little more about the Page of Cups just to get an idea of, is this actually, like this better happen today? Is it something happening today? Like, is it today allows this to come in? Like whatever truth you get to? Or is it that something actually comes in for you? And it's what you do with what comes in. I kind of feel both are a potential. Golden Universal. This is New Era Elements. This one with all this kind of look. I don't know if I told you all that. Aw, thank you. Did you see that? I know you saw that. Like, I'm just trying to, kind of thing, and I don't remember that motherfucker flipping. Oh, what is it? Oh, I don't know. The Ten of Pentacles again. Ten of Pentacles, y'all. Under that, an Eight of Pentacles. For some of y'all, this is definitely work, money related, that kind of thing. Okay. I can't help, for some of you, it is something coming in today. And it almost like speed walks you. I don't know why I want to say that. From the 5 to the 10. Look at this shit. 5 to the 10. I'm asking about the Page of Cups. Is it coming in today? And it's almost like they're like, this is where the Wheel of Fortune. It's like a 180. It's a 180. You may have been saying something better happen, and when it does, it's like, now what you gonna do? Ball's in your court. Something comes in today that will take you from the 5 to the 10. And I'm saying today only because that's what they were giving me before. This is the ultimatum. If this isn't your story, please don't try to Cinderella shit to make it fit, okay? That's not what we do around here. And maybe it doesn't take you from the 5 to the 10 in one fucking day, but something about you saying, time's up now. Right? Catapults. Starts the process. Because like I said, pages can start a little small, but they grow so fucking much. Like it has more to it. And so it's going to take you from the 5 to the 10. Cannot believe that they've just done that. It is something coming. It's going to help bring back some stability and balance in your life. The 6 of Pentacles is like resources, money, support, help, assistance. So what the story behind the 6 of Pentacles is, there's times where it's someone's turn to receive and someone else does not. Like someone's trying to balance the scales here. And this individual is in the place to be able to help somebody else, right? And the story behind the 6 of Pentacles is if you use what you get today and invest it wisely and use it wisely, whatever assistance, help, or whatever else, then you too can one day be in the position of this individual. It's all what you do with it. So there is something based upon that it's like you could, especially, let's throw some love. What if you put down an ultimatum or you draw a line in the sand and you get the answer and it's not something that you like? If you're in the energy of the 10 of Pentacles, having so much joy and wealth and love in your life, you are able to touch other people, right? I feel like this is like saying, it's still reiterating the entire thing. It's all what you do with it. You could remain in the 5 of Pentacles, or you could take yourself with what comes in to the 10. Okay. Page of Cups. The thing that comes in. The thing that you receive. You take action towards, right? You will reap benefit from that. Three of Wands, ships coming in. 3 of Wands is the reciprocity, the receiving, the response from the universe based upon your action, what you do with it. Part of what you're going to be doing is the 8 of Cups. You are going to be letting go of things that at one point you may have convinced yourself of or were beneficial to you, fulfilling in some degree, that no longer do. It is willingly letting go of this and walking towards the Nine of Cups, your wish. I do feel like something is going to transpire, show up before you, and it requires you to have the strength again. And I don't know why they're saying it like this, because I get the feeling of it can put you in the position of being the King of Cups. They keep saying, lest you be discerning. Like, that's some fucking old English bullshit. Like, I'm like, okay. Can we be a little like what? It's the level of understanding and knowing, and I feel like your discernment is like escalated, elevated from this whole situation. But there's something about being real. There's an honor in this and choosing the things that fulfill you and speak to your heart. There's a level of discernment. He does not pour his fucking cup into just anything. He listens deeply and profoundly to his intuition. And he doesn't just pour himself out anywhere and everywhere. Like, he makes choices and decisions that keep his cup full, where it never gets depleted. There's a very protective nature of this, not in a guarded sense, but from a stance of knowing and discernment, if that makes sense. Like, my crown is about to pop. It feels like it's swelling so big. There's something more to this. I know that they want me to say something. I'm trying to get it out, and I'm like, I'm not quite. Sorry, give me a second. So we might get into the phase of riddles. So it's one of those things where I was like, it's gonna make sense when it happens, or just to you, or I don't know. Because sometimes as a reader, I'm like, the fuck. And it's like, but the message is the message. And I'm like, okay. It's so cryptic. Sometimes they're Captain Obvious, and other times they're like, woo. And I'm like, come the fuck on. Seriously. They're also giving me the energy of like a duality with this King of Cups, as if this only comes in because now is the right time or is appropriate. And it's like maybe this is the cup that comes in on this Page of Cups. It's his cup. And whatever the source of that, because we do have the Three of Wands here, something comes in, you're going to have to let go of some shit. Even if it's just this pattern you've held on to, this pattern of belief, it served you well at some point, but not anymore. Because we have the Empress that comes out with it. Empress is one that receives and grows and gives birth to something. Still in the energy or the wheelhouse of what you do with it, right? Like if this cup that he has is what replenishes you, gives to you, and it's almost like you could take, we're gonna use an analogy, if someone were to give me their seed, you know where I'm going with this. What I do with that, right? My actions matter as to whether or not that grows into something more, correct? If I nurture it, if I allow it to expand, it'll give me so much more. Empress is abundance. It is the cornucopia. It is giving birth to a whole new life. So someone very well may be getting something that can give birth to a whole new life. And they're over here like it's what you, like we've got the Hierophant again, right? Yeah, no. Emperor. Thank you. I was saying Emperor, and then I thought, no, that's the Hierophant. I have to get my shit together sometimes. It's what you do with it. You can create this life. 10 of Cups. A life that you love and you enjoy. Something about what you are putting in the, like, it better happen today, has something to do with how you see your life going in the future. And they bring up again, and it's so funny, we got the Five of Swords, but I want you to see something. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, you guys are cheeky. This is where I'm like, are we getting like very cryptic and woo-woo? Because take a look at this motherfucker. Now, there's a story that goes with the Five of Swords, right? You got two people walking away back here. Yeah. And it's like they're feeling defeated. They are the ones that are feeling defeated, right? Like there was some kind of battle of the wits or battle of something, right? There's some type of clash that occurred. And somebody has to be the winner. It just so happens to be you. Right? And the idea, but what they showed me was they go, oh, look at that. Two truths, swords pointed upwards, and a lie. I was like, oh, here we go. Somehow that was the only thing standing in the way of you manifesting this. It is the thing. And it all goes back to, with whatever happens today, do you have the strength, the wherewithal, the courage? Because with the Emperor, that is about you taking the lead. And for those where this is love, it is all about allowing it, because we have a King of Cups, we've got a Hierophant, we've got an Emperor, and we have two 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is always depicted with like the family, right? The two partners, the children, the grandparents, the dog. You can and you will have this, but it hinges on you. And that may have been the thing. It may have been easier to blame everything external and the woe is me, and then to come to the point where you realize I was the deciding factor. And as long as you're willing to accept that truth, acknowledge it, and to be brave enough to move beyond that and do something with what's about to happen today, then you can look forward to this. You can look forward to the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, the manifestation, mental freedom. Your victory. So, I'm going to leave it at that. It's been for an hour and 15 minutes. It's what you do with today. What are you gonna do with it? What was the bittersweet reading? The control freak in me is like, today, this is not going to be easy, but sounds like it will be okay. A wild ride. Let's see, there are 8 people watching the live stream. Please hit the like. Oh, thank you, Minestra. I appreciate that, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you. LP release. Hey, Alyssa. If you're still around. Good morning, ladies. Hope all are well. Alrighty. I need one of my mods to try and send me an email from my website because it's weird. Like, when I go from my phone, like I want to book, it brings up the email where you can, like, it already has the title in it. You have to choose what your email provider is, but it'll send me an email, and you can just tell me, you can put in the body, oh, I would like to da-da-da. Thank you, LP. But then I go to my other email, which is like my business side of things. And it's like, people have tried to book with you. And I'm like, and it was just this week or last week. And I was like, how? And why would it send me because I used to have it set up where it would have a booking response and like you would book right onto the website. And now I do more, I'm going to sift through it. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. Because I was able to bring it up. So I don't know. That might have been old energy and like I fixed it somehow. I don't know. But if you want a personal reading, something more detailed for yourself, then by all means book a reading. Alrighty. I hope everybody has a fantastic and wonderful day. And let's see what happens. Have a great day.